In today's video, we are going to be looking at some manageable ways to make the African diet healthier. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day in Houston. The sun is bright, it is warm and nice outside, and I'm so happy and grateful to be here. If you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. My name is Yaje, and my passion is wellness, especially wellness among women that look just like me, wellness among women of African descent. I am here trying to do my part to change the narrative of wellness among the African women. I believe it's about time that we prioritize total body wellness to start to change our story. I do that by sharing wellness videos such as this one on Wednesdays, where I pick a topic, maybe an issue, maybe something I want to raise awareness about, educate on, and take a deeper dive into that issue. I hope you consider subscribing and telling someone about this channel. Join the family and let's grow, let's get well together. Thank you so much. You know what I always say, go make yourself a cup of tea, mama. Maybe grab a cup of water or something, and let's have this conversation on how we can make our diet, the African diet, healthier. So this video is a requested video. One mama wanted to know how she could tweak what she refers to as the African diet to make it healthier. I think that there's a misconception out there that our diet, the African diet, is not healthy, and I beg to differ. I beg to disagree. There's a misconception that what is good is what comes from the West and what is local is not good. We need to start to change that around and look at just how rich our diet is, the African diet, how nutritive, how nourishing the African diet is. I truly believe that. Before I share with you some ideas that I put together, I would like to hear from you as well. If you have some tips of your own, share them with everybody in the comment section. Some thoughts that I collected. Number one, I was thinking about frying things. I know that people still have this idea that if something is fried, like fried chicken, fried meat, fried this, fried dodo, fried plantains, which is called dodo, or puff puff, or fish pie, all those fried things still have a lot of appeal. I don't know why, but there lies our problem. So if you want to make the African diet or your African diet healthier, I would recommend that you take it easy on the frying. Things that require frying should not feature regularly in your diet. There's always the other alternative: to boil something, to steam something, to bake something, to grill something. For example, this plantain right here, we can take this is ripe plantains, we can fry it to make dodo, right? Which is so yummy, but you know what happens if you eat dodo every day. I don't need to tell you what happens. Your waistline will let you know. But did you know that you can just slice this thinly and steam it and still have with your eggs? Yeah, it's gonna taste a little different, but that's a small minor tweak that you can make to create, something a little healthier in the kitchen. Let's fry less, let's use less oil in our cooking, especially frying, and adopt other means of cooking that does not involve like deep frying. Another idea that came to mind is to stick closer to the natural form of that ingredient. For example, I'm going to be using plantains a lot. Again, this is plantains, a ripe one, and this is green plantains, right? And here's plantain flour. When I say stick close to the original form, I'm talking if you want to have plantain, have plantain. It is better to have plantain in its natural form than plantain that has been processed. The further removed it is away from nature, the unhealthier it becomes. Every time they process something or they dehydrate it, it's more convenient for sure, but dehydration concentrates calories. And so if you want something that is a little healthier, maybe less calories, because what we're driving at here is more nutrition, less calories, right? You want to stay away from the processed form and stick closer to the natural form of that particular ingredient. And here's another tip that I use regularly. When you boil your meat or your chicken that you're going to use to cook your soup with, what you can do is remove that meat, remove the meat from the stock, the resulting stock. Let that stock cool down, maybe in the fridge, or you can just leave it at room temperature overnight. The fat is going to settle on top, the excess fat that came from the meat or the chicken that you boiled, you cooked, okay? And then you can carefully skim off that fat before you use the stock to cook with. By doing that, you can reduce a significant amount of calories. It's just a little tip that works. Try it. The beauty about the African cuisine is that you can take one ingredient and make so many dishes from it, convert it into so many forms. For example, take the bitter leaf. Bitter leaf is so healthy, medicinal plant and all of that. But you can take that bitter leaf and just stir fry it. You can take it and cook it the country way, which is just like basic, the bitter leaf with some kind of stock and some protein in it. And then you can also take that bitter leaf and start to add things like egusi. Egusi is melon seeds to make bitter leaf egusi. Or you can take bitter leaf and add peanuts to the bitter leaf to make ndole, what is referred to as ndole. You can already see we have like 4 different ways of preparing bitter leaf right there. The least healthy way, especially if you're trying to control your weight, will be bitter leaves that is made with peanuts, because the peanuts are extremely calorie dense. So ndole, even though it is clean, made up of natural ingredient, if you're trying to be conscious about your weight, you probably want to just eat the version of bitter leaf that does not have the egusi or the peanuts inside. The point I'm trying to make, guys, is for every ingredient or whatever ingredient that you're trying to use to cook with, try not to use egusi or peanuts if you are trying to manage your weight. Not because the egusi or peanut is unhealthy, but because the egusi or the peanuts introduces extra calories that you probably you don't need. Like if you're already struggling with your weight, you want to be reducing, looking for ways to cut calories from your diet so that your body can burn the excess body fat. That's what you're trying to do. Most of you know that I come from the Ndu Kambe area in Cameroon, and the meal of my ancestors, the traditional meal from that area, is fufu and jamanjama. Fufu is just a dough made out of corn flour, and jamanjama is vegetables, garden huckleberry to be exact. But this is not uncommon among tribes in the area. It's usually some form of starch with some form of vegetable. And back in the day, the way that my ancestors probably ate it was a lot of fufu with a little vegetable, because the vegetables were not maybe readily available, I don't know. And they also needed all the carbs. They needed all that energy from the fufu to do manual work. They did not necessarily have vehicles. They didn't have cars. They didn't have another means of transportation other than their 2 feet. They walked everywhere. And so they needed that energy. Fast forward to the 21st century, here we are. I could be stuck in this house for days if I did not make a conscious effort to go out for a walk or, to exercise. Like, I have no outlet for that energy. And so if I continue to eat fufu and jamanjama the way that my ancestors used to eat fufu and jamanjama, I will run into trouble very, very fast. The point I'm trying to make is, instead of us thinking of it as fufu and jama in terms of quantity, you know, more fufu, little jama. We can switch that around and have jama with fufu, if you know what I mean. More of the vegetables, little of the fufu, and then maybe some protein on the side. So if we switch that ratio around, it will help make, you know, keep the health in Banjam. So that's just fufu and jama in limbo. I hope you try that. I hope that works for you. And I cannot end this video without addressing the drinks. My ancestors did not drink beer, like alcohol, you know, beer from a bottle. They didn't drink beer, and they did not drink Fanta and Coke and Sprite and all the fizzy drinks. Okay, and this is a major source of calories and unhealthy things in the modern African diet. We can go back to our roots. Think about what your great-grandmother would drink. For me, it would be something known as sha. Sha is fermented, sprouted corn that is made into a drink and then fermented. That is so healthy. We're talking about probiotics. The grain has been sprouted. The best way to consume grains is to sprout the grains. So the sha was very healthy, had no added sugar. I think about white mimbo or matango, you know, mvo in limbo. It was the sap of some tree. They did something and they got a drink out of a tree. Natural, 100% pure, no added sugar. So those are the things that our ancestors drank. We really have to just think about that as we think about our diet. What are those things? How can we go back to the old ways? How would your great-grandmother consume this thing that you are about to consume? We have that mindset. If we use that as a filter, we can begin to go back to our roots. When we connect back to our roots, we get well in the body and in the spirit as well. I thank you so much for watching. If you found any value in this video, I hope you consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, please help me subscribe. Subscribe and also turn on the notification bell. That way, when I do share videos, you don't miss out on any. And like I said, I share videos on wellness on this channel. Thank you so much again, and continue to love and care for that one and only you, because it's the only place that you have to live in. And eat something healthy for me today. I will catch you in my next video. Bye.